welcome to another episode of Kill James Bond. I am November Kelly. I am joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're all waking up in the big bed that we share.
It's a morning Kill James Bond. It's a Kill James brunch. We're sitting down with like little coffees. We're being very racist about two Muslim women who are sitting on another table.
What?
We're having a girls, but it's a reference to Sex in the City too.
Oh, okay.
Not on the bonus feed.
Genuinely threw me for a second.
We're brunching.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful day. You know, the sort of like sunlight is coming up. The music from that one Hovis ad is playing. And
absolutely, yeah. A beam of light through the window.
Everything
directly into my eyes.
Is as it should be. And we are ending. We are at the end, the culmination, the final point of Eurospy season.
We did it.
Done with these guys.
Now, I mean, I would have liked it if we could have done that with a good film. But, you know, you can't always choose these things. And so...
But cards on the table, I liked this one. I didn't think it was as good as the first Diabolik, because again, they still haven't understood that what makes it good is Ava Canty and Conti clothing. But I thought it was better than the second one.
I'll agree it's definitely better than the second one. I had a good time for the first like half of this, and then it like the plot changes very dramatically and it loses me pretty badly.
The third and most recent entry in the reboots of Diabolik. This is Diabolik, Who Are You? Which came out in 2023, excuse me.
By God, last year.
Yeah, which came out in 2003, last year. It's 2004 now. And America is fucking under attack.
Fuck.
Thank God, it's 2004. God, I better go and start changing gender.
I think democracy's on the ballot this year or something.
I've just been born.
The most consequential election of your lifetime. But so, yeah, we are touching robbery season. It's next, right? And like, if you haven't seen us do your favorite Eurospy film, I'm sure we'll dip back in. There's plenty of scope for us to like go back and fuck around and stuff. But like,
because it's less of a binary and more of a spectrum. Because in large parts, the Diabolik series are robbery films.
It's a bridge.
Yes.
It's a bridge from one to the other.
An on-ramp, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I've become very attached to Diabolik as a concept, but the actual like Diabolik movies have not.
This one's not great. In my experience,
it was funded in part by the EU, which I saw in the opening credits, like Totally Spies.
When I was watching this, I was like, my favorite part about watching any European film produced in the like last, 10 years minimum, is that it opens with about 20 minutes of different logos for the like cultural and arts and film foundations of like different European countries, regions.
Yes.
Whatever, like Emilia Romagna has a sort of a cultural slush fund into which they have given this movie some money and some tax breaks and all the rest of this. And so you end up with this like patchwork of logos at the front of every movie that makes it look like the old like electors of the Holy Roman Empire.
It's cute. And actually, I may as well put this at the start. I was going to put this at the end, but I learned something quite interesting about the finances of this series.
Oh boy.
Which is that the first Diabolik film lost 5 million euros.
Uh-huh.
The second Diabolik film lost 6 million euros. This film also lost 6 million euros. They have consistently just lost millions and millions and
it's
millions of euros.
It's a loss leader. They'll like the Diabolics down the line, all right? We've got to establish the brand.
I like to decouple artistic endeavor from the sort of profit-seeking motive.
I do, yeah.
You know,
I think this might be the first series of heist movies that are themselves a heist.
Are you suggesting that between the like 5 billion different Italian cultural funds making this movie and the fact that no one likes them, we are entering into a province that you might call
criminal tax evasion?
Because if you are, I think that would be a suggestion only you were making. These are the views of Abigail Thorne, not of November Kelly.
I don't even think it's criminal. I think somebody is just willing to spend millions of euros on films that don't make money. I've made a note here, which is just like, how do I get a job in the Italian film industry? Like, why am I like? Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn. I think like also Dracula's Ex-Girlfriend and The Prince both made profit before we even started making them, and this is like a very significant thing. Like the fact that my early creative endeavors have been profitable is a big deal. But apparently I'm in the wrong fucking game. Because you can just go to Italy and just fucking blow 6 million euros up the fucking wall, making Italy look cool, and you're fine.
It's the Italians. You know, they water down the fucking olive oil. Who knows what they're doing to the Diabolik films? This thing is mostly vegetable oil, by way.
I was wondering why Ava Cat looked so much like a giant 55-gallon drum of vegetable oil with a blonde wig and so many
the whole time.
Yeah. No, I think this is the move, right? We all have to move to somewhere that's still smart enough to be in the EU and just kind of soak up that funding.
They fund the arts, whereas in this country, what happens if you try and get artistic funding is it takes you 6 months and then they're racist towards you and give it to their friends.
You got to let me into that network of supply and demand.
Oh, the borderless network of supply and demand.
Borderless network.
The real Europe is not a cafe on the Rue de Rivoli. The real Europe is Diabolik. Who are you?
Yes, that's right. The real Europe is that I can buy photographic supplies from a Slovenian guy. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
We begin in the middle of the night in Clairville, our fictional city.
Yes.
We are like a woman is locking up at night at a bank where she works. She's talking to her colleague and she's like, "Oh, it's so cool that you have a husband. I just suck. You know, I don't get dick at all.
I sort of like don't matter.
Yeah.
I just kind of don't matter.
It's a tragic
lonely
life.
woman, potential 009 spotted, reflexively don't get attached.
Yeah.
You show me someone at the start of the movie, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah. And as she's leaving, she hears the cries of a woman in distress. And because of feminism, she goes to investigate and help.
There's some good creepy camera work here. She's being followed. I like the way this is done.
And this sort of like instinct towards solidarity is ruthlessly exploited by means of something that we'll come to find is a classic in this kind of heist genre. The like
Left for Dead witch moment.
True. Yeah, she finds this woman who is Eva in a like blood-stained wedding dress looking very creepy. That's not the part that's going to be a recurring theme.
Like Banquo's ghost. It's very spooky.
What is going to be the recurring theme is she is knocked unconscious by the application of like a serviette lightly pressed over her mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Little known fact about women is that if you press that on the back of the head, they take a screenshot and fall unconscious.
That is true. I've done this. I have taken screenshots in my life. And also other kinds of shots. Relatedly.
When she awakens, she's wearing a stylish nightie and a new pair of glasses. It's quite thoughtful that they changed their clothes, which is creepy to do to someone who's unconscious, but also like gave her a nice pair of glasses with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's really funny to try and thread the needle of like, well, obviously this is a huge violation of consent, but I would love to have a personal shopper. So, in a way...
This is fun. So this is a little bit like how the sausage is made, right? We see that this woman is being groomed to be a disguise for Ava, right? And that she's like been kidnapped. She wakes up like tied to a bed, gets injected with a truth serum, and then just asked basic questions about her life. Just I don't know. I like a little bit that they're showing, you know, the behind the scenes of the Diabolik.
Yeah.
It's very much like what they do the NHS gender identity clinics.
If the NHS gender identity clinic had a woman this hot inject me with stuff,
I'd be changing my gender once a week.
It's gone back again. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, man. It's the metronome.
One thing about this as well is, so I've been pushing this thing that I have been calling Adverse Conditions Movie Club because I keep watching movies in adverse conditions, and the conditions in this one significantly more adverse because the bad pronouns are back, much like going to the gender identity clinic.
The subtitles are not good.
The subtitles are the most machine translated thing I have read in a while.
Yes, they are pretty they're pretty obviously like just one-to-one.
Yeah, and again, it's like because this movie is worse made than the first one, which had the same issue, this borders on incomprehensible at times.
I don't know. I find it fine. After a while, I just sort of like filtered it out and just soft focused, and I followed the plot.
100%.
You learned Italian for this.
I just got cues from the actors. You know, I looked at people's facial expressions and intentions.
I don't know how to do that. Really, I should have learned at some point before becoming a film critic. But yeah, so
Next, we get a sort of classic of the robbery genre, which we're going to have to come up with a snappy name for. We get it's like a fast motion, rewindy, explainy, doey montage.
Yeah, I think of this as the hustle, flash forward, flashback.
Yeah, like things are being rewound, things are done in fast motion, and then a voiceover's like, we'll do this. We get like split screens as like they're doing the heist.
In this case, it's a sort of rarer subspecies where it's the hypothetical flash forward of
really nice.
This is the plan. Here's what it looks like when it comes off without a hitch. And what it looks like when it comes off without a hitch is the aged Duchess or whatever with her collection of coins in a safety deposit box, which was set up in the last movie, I should say, which I appreciate, is met by this bank manager who we know has been kidnapped and replaced by Ava, ushered into a locked room where Diabolik uses his sick Jaguar E-Type to pull the bars off the walls of the outside of pull the bars off the window from the outside. Ava just takes the coins, climbs out the window. Jobs are good.
The shot of Diabolik pushing the pedal in the car to like accelerate is so funny because he's got these felt ass calves, and I really thought it was Ava for like a good couple of seconds.
Yeah,
he's got these very sensible flats on as well. I was like,
it's the kind of like 60s Italy unisex like Chelsea boot. Everyone was wearing a heeled black leather Chelsea boot back in the day.
But they are shooting this excitingly. Like the fact that I can even pull from this is that they, when he starts driving, they have a shot of him pushing the pedal down. Like they're shooting this very fun. They're having a good time with it.
Yeah, the car chase through the park from the police is really good. We get a really good song. The police are opening. I liked it. It's well shot.
No, we don't. Like this is.
Yeah, we do.
I genuinely wrote down. Did they get worse at making films? Like to me, this was lackluster compared to even the last one.
No, we've seen much worse car chases than this. I mean, we've seen worse car chases than this in Bond. Remember Quantum of Solace? I couldn't see a fucking thing.
No.
And he has a cute little gadget like in the first one where like the fucking car races.
This is the stupidest one yet, and it almost wins me back with this one.
Exactly.
What we do with this is we have this like, because the other two did an okay job of being like, this is not Italy in the 60s, right? Whereas here, it's so clearly park in the 2020s.
Yeah.
As they drive through, it's not even charming in the way that this next bit is. As they drive through it, we get the obstacle in the chase, which is a crash zoom into a bollard, which I really like. We appreciate a bollard here. And Diabolik negotiates this by pressing the button that jacks the entire car upwards. It's got like extendy wheels. It goes whoop.
It's like fucking Inspector Gadget shit. It just goes up over the bollard and they cross a little pedestrian bridge. And I'm like, that's kind of twee.
It doesn't look good. Like you can quite clearly tell when the extender wheels are extended that the thing that is on top of them is not an E-Type Jag with two people in it. It's just a shell of a Jag. It looks like a Jag, but it does look. I'm like willing to give it a pass. So I'm like, that's so charming.
It is a little charming.
Yeah.
I did like this one. And of course, all the cops stop at this bollard and like, throw their hats on the ground. And they're like, he fucking got us again, Diabolik.
This is whatever the opposite of bellissimo is.
Yeah. Malissimo.
Malissimo.
Another thing I notice about this, Diabolik hasn't killed anyone. Second movie, and indeed first movie, he is like throwing a knife directly into someone's spine. This one, the most violence they have used is against a window frame, and Eva has like just picked up the loot and they've just walked off with it. We're softening the edges of this Diabolik here a little bit.
Yeah, we are. This will become important later on.
Yeah, in a second.
So now, having done the opening titles, we then rewind and we see the heist as it actually plays out. And as this is being set up inside, there are some mysterious goons who rock up disguised as plumbers.
I love the mysterious. Just the one disguised as a plumber, actually, because one of them gets out of the van and he's got the mustache. He's got the like plumber's cap, although it's blue. Which briefly made me hallucinate the existence of a third Mario brother.
He does.
A sort of a Luigi figure.
Mario, Luigi, and Giuseppe, who's a bank robber and is not really a plumber.
Yeah, they're ashamed
of
Giuseppe.
Remember Giuseppe?
Giuseppe has been cut from like every Nintendo property because of his history of violent larceny. But so Giuseppe enters the bank under the pretense of being a plumber, which also leads me to ask, are Italians aware of, like, I know he's like an international property. Do Italians find the concept of a plumber funny now that there is Mario?
Do Italians like call the plumber and be like, lol, like Mario?
Do they know about Mario?
Yeah, do you want to do some like double jumps right now?
In Italy, is Mario meant to be Italian? Or is it like anime when they whenever they talk about learning English and it's dubbed, they talk about learning French?
That would be fucked.
That's funny.
That would be fucked if Mario in Italy wasn't Italian.
Do the Italians think that Mario is like Swedish or something?
Italian Mario is French.
Oh my
They've got a French
God,
Mario.
No, that would be sick. That would be disgusting.
They've got Philippe.
I would honestly be so angry at Nintendo were that the case.
Super Philippe 64.
It's just Portuguese in this one.
I love to play a Philippe on my 64.
C'est moi, Philippe.
We go down this route because this is pretty thin gruel, right? Like he fucking they rob the place.
Sure is.
They do old school crime.
They rob the place. This is cute. Like it's not that Diabolik like gets caught or anything by Ginko or anything, or the cops do anything. Like a different robbery just happens to the same bank at the same time, and it fucks them up.
Yeah,
and it's
I really
old school robbery. It's crime classic. They don't use a gas or masks. They just come in with guns.
Yeah, Diabolik and Ava are like fucking 10 layers deep, like 3 disguises nested on top of each other, and Giuseppe just comes in with a gun. It's like, I'd like the money.
Yeah, I've got this cool gadget. It's called a 9mm submachine gun. It's got really
it's called the gun that kills you instantly.
It looks like an ordinary metal tube, but if I squeeze here,
Diabolik and Ava do that because that's the only way they could come. These guys are in it for the crime.
That's true. That is
These
true.
guys want money.
How swingers look when real criminals come at them.
For real though.
And these guys who are from a slightly different genre of crime movie just execute this countess or duchess or whatever like the Bolsheviks.
Just kill her.
They just open up on this unarmed old woman who's like, I'm not giving you my coins, and they just go,
they're like, okay.
Light her up.
Insane.
We get a couple of things that we need to set up for future bank heists, of which there are going to be many, right? Mm-hmm. One is that there is... I'm going to have to explain this as a kind of theory of heist crews very, very soon. But they have what I'm going to call a Waingro, right? And this is the same type of guy as, I think it's Mr. Blue in the Take It Pelham 123, the one guy who just is slightly unstable and like fucks things up for the rest of them. And so that guy distracts the rest of them by, in another classic of the Waingro moment, by sexually harassing the hot bank teller. And as the others are like, hey, no, stop that, you know? We're here for crime, but not that kind of crime.
Yeah.
The manager decides to be a hero and like crawl for the silent alarm. And he also gets shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he does make it to the alarm. Waingro shit. I'm calling this guy Sideburns.
Every heist crew of a certain number, this is Waingro's law, every heist crew of a certain number must include a destabilizing, antisocial figure, or else it's just,
he's like, he's Joker mode. He's in it for the killing. Like, he loves it.
No, because Joker mode would be, as in The Dark Knight, right? Being the kind of Sigma of your heist crew and playing them off against each other. Whereas Waingro is something different, I think. Waingro is something that is antithetical to the interests of the heist and is often like kind of personally depraved, right? It's why Waingro and Heat has the Nazi tattoos and stuff. All the rest of this. But anyway, so we get a
second car chase in like the first 10 minutes, which is really nice. As the robbers get away, with the cops are shooting at them.
This should be cool, right? You're on some real like poliziotteschi shit. You're like, they shoot a couple of cops. This is like, it's like a worse version of Heat, actually, which is
cold,
frozen, warm. Fucking, it's okay. Not to be mean, but you can really tell that they didn't have like actual guns. They're holding them so weird.
Airsoft Heat. There's two. Well, because in Heat they had actual guns and they killed like 50 LAPD officers to make that.
Yeah, it was good that they did that.
The thing about the subtitles really comes into play here because as the guys are leaving with the loot, they say like via, like go. which the subtitles translate as road, road, road. And then as they do, they run into a cop who yells stop, which the subtitles hit as immobile. And that 1-2 punch was just...
Meanwhile, I'm leaning back like madmen in the cinema. I'll be like, damn, I fucking love
Not
movie.
everything needs a reaction.
Adverse conditions, baby.
Yeah. Sometimes what's that fucking Brian Eno quote about how the limitation of the form is the thing that people will remember it for, right? Like
100%.
Like tape player hiss. People will remember Diabolik, Who Are You, if they do, for shitty English subtitles, I guess.
Oh, in the same way that people remember Skyrim for the jankiness.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. I remember the Skyrim that exists in my head, which is 100% photorealistic and like perfect.
Yeah, that's Oblivion in mine.
Yeah.
So they have a car chase. One of the robbers is shot in the course of fleeing the bank.
Mm-hmm. Another classic. They're shooting back out of the window, and one of them has the weirdest way of holding a gun I've ever seen.
Double overhand grip on a gun. I've never seen anything like it.
It's not very
intuitive.
It
like a T-Rex.
Oh, he's trying to shoot left-handed, but it's like, just shoot left-handed, bro.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah. And they managed to get away by shooting at a school bus full of kids, and then also a very sexy teacher.
Mm-hmm. And we see that Ginko is called in and is visibly pissed off about having to do non-nemesis police work.
Yeah.
But he does also he's like these guys are like a new kind of depravity. The subtitles render this as they match the description: same body type and same hardness. Which they dick print you when you get arrested in Clairville.
No.
It's like joining UCB comedy. But they're the new gang, the terrorizing town. But we've caught one of them. He's in hospital. He's in a coma. He can't talk because he's been shot. But they have a photograph of him. And then we get a really fun montage of Palmer, Jinko's assistant.
This is really fun. I found it really fun, yeah.
It's cute. They go around the town and they show the picture to a bunch of people and they're all like, never seen this guy before.
I thought this was a sort of a plot by the Emilia-Romagna Cultural Fund to show how many extras they have in Italy that can't do a convincing shakes head, no, I don't recognize this guy.
I thought all the extras were fine in this. There's a cute bit where they have
nice time with this.
They have a cute gang of like street tough kids who like never seen him, Jack, and then one of them like spits at the officer. It's cute.
I don't.
That's what I mean, because like they show the photo to various seedy characters to like find this guy, and it would have been really easy to just be like, take this guy's photo, go and show it, and then just like have some like dialogue scene, and then the next scene someone comes back in and go, hey, we found him, he was somewhere, and like, but to take the time to be like, we're showing him to all the different, like, various criminal underbellies in Clairville. I don't know. I found it very sweet. There's a sort of general refusal to hand wave in this movie that I like a lot.
The soundtrack's having fun. There's like a real, like, there's a cool, like, funky bass and jazz flute during this. It's great.
I couldn't disagree more with that part. I think the soundtrack in this one is both worse and a lot more obtrusive. I think conceptually you're right. I think this could have been fun. I don't know anymore. But like, I just, one thing I should say about this too is that all of the legwork is being done by Jinko's two guys, one of whom is Palmer, the other is, I don't remember his name, he was in the first one.
Some other guy.
The two moustache brothers, essentially.
Yes.
Palmer is the one doing all the like legwork of, you've seen this guy, you've seen this guy, and finally at the end of like this long montage, he like gets someone who says that he recognizes him.
Then we get a classic, almost like Man from Uncle-ish bit. They're like, oh, we found this guy. We've identified him as Luca.
Woman.
And he has a 10 out of 10 smoke show wife.
My notes here say woof.
Yeah. They often do.
True.
And they interrogate her. She claims not to know anything. And Jinko's like, bullshit. But then Ginko goes home to his house, which is made entirely of wood, it seems. Like he's the second of the three little pigs.
Yeah, he goes back to his sauna living room. And again, the soundtrack is like really quite loud at this point. It's back to the like early Bond thing of like Bond searching hotel rooms to like da-da, da-da.
Ginko gets in and immediately starts drinking. Doesn't even take his shoes off.
This is a problem, you know, like staging a Jinkovention.
he gets a phone call from Monica Bellucci, who's like, "Hello, I was your girlfriend in the second film.
I'm in this movie," and you're like, "Oh wow."
She's significantly hotter in this one, and I'm not sure I can articulate why. I don't know what's going on inside my brain at the moment, or indeed ever.
She says the Countess from the start
you
of the
still think
film.
Monica Bellucci's hot, so
Yes,
it can't be that bad. Like, still good.
But I think they did her wrong in the second movie, and in this one, she's back to being as hot as Monica Bellucci is my point.
She says that the Duchess from the opening montage was my friend, because Duchesses are like trans women online. We all know each other. I'm going to be at the funeral and like, let's shag while I'm in town. And Ginko's like, "Oh, this gang, they're even worse than Diabolik." And I was like, "Oh, you can't say that."
It's the only way he could justify going after him. These guys are like 4 Diabolics.
It's sort of like twin interventions, right? It's like, do you often feel yourself needing a drink? Do you often find yourself having to relate things to Diabolik in order to do them? Ginko doing like inbox zero shit. He's like, "I've got to brush my teeth so that my dental hygiene doesn't distract me in the fight against Diabolik."
Look, if Diabolik would be proud of you for brushing your teeth.
Yeah, for sure.
Diabolik would brush his teeth. He's very prepared.
I've got to get my car taken in to get MOT'd, because like if it fucks up at a critical moment, I might miss Diabolik.
This is actually quite a healthy way to
I'm
prosecute
not
your
sure
life now.
that it is. I think I think that borders on like thinking that you're being gang stalked, you know?
Yes, but in this case, it's more that he's gang stalking.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Diabolik and Ava are having breakfast, and they acknowledge the fact that they're still holding the bank teller from the opening prisoner. They're like, "What are we going to do?" And Diabolik's like, "We're going to have to kill her." And Ava's like, "Nah, let's let her go." And he's like, "Fine, whatever." I just wanted to kill her.
Yeah, because we're softening Diabolik because Eva is like having this effect on him. And in fairness, she does make the point, because Diabolik's initial thing is, well, she's seen our faces for no reason other than they've decided to show them to her. But she's seen our faces, so we have to kill her because she can identify us. And Eva sort of like more or less says, well, everybody has already identified us. Like your number one enemy knows your face already. Just let her go. And he's like, fine. Which they do. They do off screen, by the way. You don't actually know if she does it. We never see this woman again. For all we know, Diabolik has like dumped her in a ditch.
Yeah. They see in the newspaper that Luca's wife is a person of interest in the investigation. And Diabolik is like, "I bet she knows more than she's telling. If we follow her, we'll be able to steal all the loot that this gang has stolen and the coins they took from us."
It's a bit contrived, but I like this kind of robbing the robbers setup. It's fun. Yeah.
The subtitles here are quite fun. They say,
they're really bad, yeah.
"She lives in a notorious alley opposite a hotel for illegal couples."
Yeah, illegal is glossing clandestino, like a secret meeting place for couples. Like a love hotel, like a
They said, "Well, let's book a room."
Illegal couples.
Let's book
Wes
a room.
Anderson ass.
We'll book a room in this hotel for illegal couples, and we'll stake it out.
There's this really funny bit where Italians will be like, "This is a dangerous and sordid back alley. It's a hive of scum and villainy. It's the worst place in the city," and then show you the most delightful little street ever.
Yeah, right. You're like,
There's a little Vespa going down it. It's like got cobblestones, and you're like, this seems pretty nice to me.
There is an element here that I really like, which is that they've brought back a little bit of chemistry between these two actors. He's like, "Well, why don't we book a hotel room?" And he kisses her hand, and like it's a little bit suggestive. When they get the room opposite Elisa, is the wife's name's house. Ava's like, "Well, we're probably going to be here a while in this hotel for illegal couples. Why don't we have some illegal coupling?" It's implied that they shag, and I'm like, good. I'm glad that they brought that back. I believe that they're a couple, which was like a nice part of it.
Yeah, 100%.
One thing that frustrates me about this movie is that they do the disguise thing, right? The latex mask. They're both in disguise in order to get this like illegal hotel room. And then they always take the mask off before doing anything, so you know it's them
so
under
you
there.
can see
and
them.
It's like, and
it's a shame because like the earlier, like last movie, the guy who played the hotel guy got to spend a long... it was the first one. He got to spend a long time playing Diabolik.
Was the hotel guy in the first one, the cop in the second one?
The cop in the second.
It was a good idea, and I don't know if it's just like a screen time thing. Also, just interpersonally, if you have the like possibility to make latex masks of anyone, and you're on some European couple freak shit. You're telling me you're not fucking in the masks?
Right? Yeah, right? I was like, come on.
Of course you're fucking in the masks.
Of course you are.
Who shall we be today?
I mean, not least because disguise Eva in this one clears real Eva, in my opinion.
There's something wrong with your brain.
I
This is Miss Italy.
I'm skipping through to have a look at this now.
Why are my co-hosts asking me to draw a clock?
Again, she's officially one of the most 190 beautiful women in the world.
All women are one of the most 100 beautiful.
The girl reading this.
Yeah, exactly.
But also there's a fun thing, which is that the cops are in the room directly above them, also sticking out the flat.
I love this joke. And it's two like male cops, which implies something about the illegal couples, maybe. And the thing is, right, that's a really fun visual joke that they're in the room above, also like a couple sort of spying on them, except for the fact that the subtitles fuck up in this moment. And so one of the cops, the line is like, I'll go and get something to eat, and then I'll like, switch out with you. I'll relieve you from your job at like, standing at the window with a pair of binoculars. What the subtitles give is, I'm going to go and have something to eat, and then I'll change you. And
that's smart. If you're on a long stakeout, you dipe up, and then you don't have to stop watching. This is very smart stuff.
Horrifying.
And then it scrolls up to the hotel room above, and Diabolik's also in a diaper.
Lends a retrospective horror to all of the surveillance stuff in like the Bourne movies, where you're like, all of these guys have to be like watching street corners all day. Where do they piss? The answer: diapers, all the time.
Yeah, spycraft.
Yeah,
diapers.
Any foot chase in the Bourne series should just mostly be like audible crinkling.
You should be aware that he's wearing diapers throughout all of the Bourne series.
That's gross as hell. Not to kink shame anyone, but that's gross as hell. So
look at us. Look at what they make us give.
Maybe you're here to change me.
This is vile.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so Elisa leaves the house after Luca, her husband, dies in hospital.
Yes.
My notes here say she's mogging Ava's fits. Ava sells seething, mogged by Elisa Chad.
I think this website that you're on is damaging your brain.
You're the one who just brought up dipes. Blush pink overcoat, pink dress, white gloves. Okay. So she goes to see a lawyer.
Yes. Now, this guy's name, because Palmer like finds this out from following her. The cops do. Diabolik knows, the cops know. And Palmer is like, oh yeah, this guy's name is Diego
Mandem.
So Diego Mandem.
Diego Mandem.
I called him Italian Bryan Cranston in my notes.
I called him Italian Weird Al.
I don't know if I actually referred to him directly at any point.
He looks like the guy who used to be in We Are Scientists if he had Weird Al's hair.
He does a little,
and also got hit with like a Havana syndrome beam that really fucked him up. He's not doing great, is the thing.
So Elisa meets him and she's like, I want my husband's share of the money. And we learn that nobody has touched any of what the gang has stolen. It's all locked up in the lawyer's safe.
This is their tactic. This is how they've evaded detection, is they just sit on the money until like the heat dies down, which no one's ever thought of before in like
That's smart.
But she's like, well, I got into this. I let my husband get into this robbery stuff so I wouldn't have to have a job. I don't want to work, Queen. And the lawyer is like, well, I'm not paying you. Get a job. Republican bank robber.
And Ginko's like, well, these guys are so tough and so bad. I'm going to have to break the rules in order to catch them.
Illegally do a B&E, do a black bag job, break into Diego Mandem's house and like find evidence. And because this isn't a sanctioned operation, he can't have any of the other cops with him. So he sends Palmer, because this lawyer, right? He's a sap because he's in love with a stripper. And so who is not reciprocating. So he goes to a strip club every night and like tries to romance her, and she's like, "Oh, you're so funny," or whatever, and like takes all his money. So Palmer has to follow him to this strip club and keep him there as long as possible, which I thought was going to go in a very different direction, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been in a strip club, but this is the fanciest strip club that I've ever seen.
The stripping appears to bear no relation to the music, which is quite like sort of piano bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks like a bordello. It's like red. It's beautiful. It's like a beautiful cocktail bar.
They applaud the strippers.
Titties and pussy.
Yep.
Yeah, full bush we're getting in this movie.
This movie did not deserve full frontal, to be honest.
Yeah, for real. And also, let me see a hog then now.
Yeah.
You're going to... give me some equality. That's all I want here.
What does Ginko's dick look like? We are asking.
What does Ginko's... They should have been naked when they were in that.
Is it fucked up? Does it have like a curve in it? Like what's going on?
No, I think it's normal. I think it's probably normal.
I don't think a man with a normal dick can become Zenigatified, I'll be honest. I think the...
And pull Monica Bellucci.
The weirdness of dick...
He's pulling Monica.
The weirdness of dick is an essential component. It's like, like penis size for comedy. It has to be just short enough to people's joke. But yeah, no, anyway.
Okay.
So Ginko and Diabolik are both going to search the lawyer's mansion at the same time.
Yeah, that's rocks.
To get some cool sneaking music. Again, jazz flutes, just like...
It sounds like a porno. The thing I do like is that they have different methods of climbing over the gate according to their characters. Ginko just like climbs the gate and Diabolik like hops the fence. Very athletic.
Yeah.
It's cool.
The one bit that I didn't particularly believe is that Diabolik gets uncle chopped, and I'm like, this guy's meant to be like fucking Batman. You can't like uncle chop Diabolik.
How do you uncle chop the Diabolik in the back, and what do you do if you miss?
Yeah.
He drops his flashlight and it like illuminates the legs of all of the 4 criminals, and they just stood in the dark talking about him.
This wasn't a good shot. This shot sucked. I thought my player had frozen for a solid minute. It was...
Are you okay?
I think the movie it's not good, but it's not this bad. Like,
I'm not saying it's awful. I'm just... I don't know. I think
this is... inventive. It was sinister. It was intriguing. I thought this was a nice choice. Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly, I'm surprised because I want to get much worse on this movie later on, and I feel like there's not any room to get harsher.
I felt like they were trying harder with this one, with like more limited budget and locations, but like, yeah, well, the obvious choice here would have just been to have like shoot the actors' faces, shot, reverse shot. It's quite nice that they just have the sinister legs of these 4 criminals as Diabolik and Ginko are standing. You know, like
they're making choices at the very least.
That's true, but
that's the most.
So are we all.
But we get a reverse shot, and it's both Ginko and Diabolik lying completely dead on the floor.
The guy who has uncle chopped them is a guy I will be calling Italian Wolverine, because he's got the big sideburns, and he's the Waingro that we saw earlier. He's the like hot-headed, temperamental one who's like, we should shoot these guys right now.
Yeah.
Which he is right, like objectively. Yes. No one else knows they're there aside from Eva, I guess. But instead, they're like, no, we have to wait for the lawyer to get back, and then the most hesitatingest man in Clairville to get home, and then we'll figure out what to do.
Yeah. Meanwhile, tie them up in the basement.
Yeah.
When the lawyer does come home, the gang want to cash out, and the lawyer's like, "Oh well, we got to be careful because Palmer followed me here." He's like following. He's like skulking around outside, and so they ambush Palmer and they get him at gunpoint. And he has a very slow reaction to this, which is funny. And they take him down to the basement as well. And Italian Wolverine is like told to kill him, and kind of
Palmer gets a like really heroic couple of scenes where he refuses to say anything.
And meanwhile, on the other side of the door, Ginko and Diabolik wake up, chained to opposite walls in this cell, which this guy has with chains.
Common European feature of a basement.
Yeah, he's Fritzl moding. He's planning to Fritzl mode a family someday.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. It's from the last guy's Fritzl family, I'm
looking to start a family, so I built this basement.
Look, if you don't want a second family, you can put like one of your twin sons in there. Like,
European letting agents will be like, it is a 3-bedroom. It is. And then the 3rd bedroom is the Fritzl basement. You're never fitting more than a single bed in there.
They make fun of Palmer and then they dome him off.
They what?
They do. They dome my boy Italian Wolverine dome him off. Like he's putting his gun against his head right against the side of his head. This is very important.
Yeah.
He's kneeling in front of the boss. Italian Wolverine is putting his gun against the side of this guy's head. Smart. And then he walks around to the back and puts it against the back of his head. And I'm like, you're going to hit your boss, man.
You can shoot your boss's dick off.
He mock executes him a couple of times from the side, and then he walks around to the back, and it does look like he's going to shoot his boss in the dick. Yeah.
Yes.
And they
Angles
fucking
wide.
kill my boy.
Yeah, they do. They compromise him to a permanent end because Palmer's
Dump
like
his body under a bridge.
Yeah, Ginko tries to save him. He's like shouting through the door like, he doesn't know anything. You know, shoot me instead or whatever.
Yeah. He goes like, Inspector Ginko, it's an honor to work for you. Kapow. Tragic. You know, immediately choral music hits.
The emotional intimacy of like, my dying moments. I'm thinking of my boss and how cool he is. That's leadership, I guess.
And the gang debate, well, should we just dome off Ginko and Diabolik now? And they're like, well, no, because what if we get Diabolik to lead us to his stash? Like, that's their reason for keeping him alive.
It's been at least like a day and a half at this point within the sort of context of the movie, because the lawyer has to like go to court and come back. And by the way, this whole time, Ginko and Diabolik have done nothing but sit there and smolder at each other. They haven't even said anything. I mean, at least, you know, Jinko's presumably like diped up in this moment, so he's fine. But like 14 hours or whatever in like the Fritzl basement, probably not great for anyone.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the girls, Monica Bellucci and Ava, both realize that their guys never came home last night.
Nothing of Palmer's family, who, you know, presumably left waiting. It is reasonable, by the way, for Monica Bellucci to assume that Ginko and Palmer have eloped when she calls in, and they're like, oh yeah, we haven't seen either of these two guys specifically. But yes, R.I.P. Palmer, you got to see a weird striptease before you died.
Yeah.
You did,
so Ginko and Diabolik finally start talking. And Diabolik's like, well, your father was a corrupt judge who died in prison. Is that why you're so dedicated to following the rules, you fucking square?
It's really funny how quickly they get that one out of the way. Jinko's origin story is not of great import to this movie. Like, Diabolik.
Ginko, who are you?
No, Diabolik gets like a full black and white movie within a movie. It's like 40 minutes solidly. Whereas Ginko is just like, oh, you fucking got daddy issues, have you? You cunt.
Yeah.
And Jinko's like, yes.
Yeah. Well, and since we're about to die, you tell me, Diabolik, who are you? And then we get his little backstory, which is fucking ludicrous, but I love it.
Yes.
It's an insane backstory.
Stylish black and white Casino Royale style.
It's very comic booky. Like, I really like the backstory. I forgot to take any notes about that.
The black and white Italian stuff actually made me think of the Netflix Talented Mr. Ripley. It's like a sort of worse shot version of that in some ways. But yeah, so he has the Jason Bourne origin story, but for crime, essentially. He was raised by thieves.
Well, so there was a storm at sea and a shipwreck, and then a baby in a lifeboat was the only survivor, who was found by an international gang of criminals and raised on Spectre Island.
Which is a fun bit. Sick. Like, that's a compelling thing.
It's also like, I guess textually, in the universe, this might be Diabolik just making shit up.
Yeah, hard to know.
It's not great that the first like people of color in the series with like lines are the sort of International Brotherhood of Thieves, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But they are here.
True.
But they are.
There are people of color. They do have lines and they do have names, finally, in 2023.
Yes.
We did it.
We did it. We just invented that somewhere between 2022 and 2023. I'm very impressed by it. It's going to be good stuff.
There is a certain measure of hypocrisy here from me in that me watching Porco Rosso, oh man, I love Italian pirates who exist in the Mediterranean, sort of living by their wits, and it's not really very historical. Me watching this, this shit sucks. It's totally implausible.
I like this. So he's raised on Spectre Island. They never give him a name. And he learns like swimming and climbing. He gets in really good shape. He learns all the languages of the world on the island.
He learns a bunch of like criminal science, not in the sense of criminology, from like various professors. There's like Professor Wolf, who is definitely not a Nazi. There's like another one. There's Chen Fu, the guy who teaches him poisons, who does have the like fucked up wispy facial hair as well, just to really like hammer that one home.
He learns about like how to build car gadgets. The test that they do to like, so his car gadget professor has this like device which suddenly stops the car. It's like two big spikes that come down behind the car and stop it suddenly. And they test this by driving at a wall of spikes. And I'm like, you could have tested that with like a tape measure. You didn't need to risk your life for this, but okay. Great, whatever.
But they needed to show that not only is Diabolik, he's cool as well.
Yeah.
And
it's run. This whole organization is run by Italian Blofeld.
Yes.
Who has a huge villa on the island, and like he's hardly ever there, and he's very mysterious. And one day, when Diabolik was 20 years old and already had a vicious widow's peak, and he is summoned to meet Italian Blofeld, who was revealed to be David Baddiel.
Yes.
This guy looks like David Baddiel, which I laughed out loud.
Hang on, I'm skipping.
He does kind of. And this guy's like, I'm the king of crime.
Yeah.
I will take you under my wing because in the course of learning crime science, you have invented the Diabolik masks. Right, the really thin latex masks.
Oh, God, he does.
He gets him to demonstrate this to him, right, with one of the masks, and it fully hits the "I think you should leave, I got too much shit on me" effect. Like
it's like Gordon Ramsay's bad disguise. He's like,
it's like an inch thick rubber mask.
But he's getting better at it. So he's like, David Baddiel's like, keep trying. These will be useful to me.
Meanwhile, back in present day, Monica Bellucci figures out that where he is, where they're being held captive. She like climbs over the fence and she spies on them, where again the most indecisive gangsters in the world are having another fucking meeting. It's worse than a socialist organization, these guys.
Honestly.
Hamlet gangsters.
Motion to form a subcommittee to investigate maybe killing these guys. And loudly mentioning that they're in the basement.
And she goes to the funeral of the Countess from the opening, and she's interviewed on television in an incredible hat.
Yes. Oh, beautiful.
A beautiful funeral outfit. And she says, last time I was in Clairville, I met a makeup artist who was the best makeup artist in town. I would like to meet that person again.
Picking up from the second movie.
I will be here at the chapel until that person arrives.
It's cute. And nice. it also means
Ava
that we get a return of the makeup artist fit, which is also really good. And like short black bob.
Yeah, and they meet and they propose, what if we had a team up girls' night?
What if we had a fucking girls' night?
So Eva drives her to the Batcave, making her wear a leopard print blindfold.
My notes say I would hate that.
Just average girls' night activities. They do some planning and some like Diabolik heist prep together, wearing matching turtlenecks, which is very cute.
Yes, very cute. Meanwhile, the flashback continues. So
because the king of crime, one thing we didn't mention, right, is when he takes Diabolik under his wing. It's in this scene because the thing has paid off and the latex masks work. He's like, right, I'm going to show you my treasures. And it's like, these are my room. This is my room full of treasures. These are shit tier treasures. Now I'm going to take you to the room of the real treasure.
Check out these treasures. Look good, huh? No, wrong, idiot. This is my distracting antechamber full of kinder treasures.
It's like evil genius
come
too.
With me.
So he takes him to a room with an enormous stuffed panther in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like, I like to come down here and contemplate this occasionally for self-care. This is my panther gazing room. And the panther is named Diabolik. And he's like, I hunted this panther, this island's deadliest natural predator. He was incredibly dangerous and wily, and he's hyping up this fucking panther, and the whole time Diabolik is standing there with a widow's peak being like, damn, that's what a persona is.
Yeah. Basically.
He's like, I killed this panther with my bare hands when I first came to the island. The panther was anti-Semitic, so I killed him.
Yeah.
And he supported Jeremy Corbyn. So I killed him with my bare hands, and underneath the panther plinth is a secret submarine cave. All this can be yours
immediately
if you give me the formula for the masks. The young Diabolik is like, maybe. But then he overhears David Baddiel planning to kill him, and he's like, oh no.
And so he in a proto-Diabolik outfit later that night sneaks into the Bathosub cave from beneath.
Prepare my Bathosub immediately.
Emerges from
Panthosub.
Panthosub, yes.
Emerges from beneath the panther and waits until the guy comes into his panther gazing room for self-care.
Like he says he does it often, so I guess he's like, I'll just wait.
Fucking hitman target with like a loop, you know? And he stabs him, he chefs him up with the Diabolik
stabs him
knife.
to death.
Yeah. We get the really like hacky thing of like red blood and a black and white film, and like the blood is really poorly done.
Very comic booky though.
Yeah. There was a red laser pointer earlier on that was much better done, and I found that really nice. But the blood in the scene is not too good.
Yeah,
and then he does the like TF2 spy thing, right?
Yeah, because David Baddiel's like, you fool, they'll never follow you. And he's like, oh, check this shit out, though. I've got a mask of your face.
Bestie, I love your style. Let me just become you.
Yeah. And none of the goons are going to be like, boss, why do you suddenly have the body of a 20-year-old? But whatever. And he's like, as he's standing there with the knife next to the panther statue, he's like, you attacked me from behind, just like Diabolik.
Like, all right. Okay.
Sometimes when you're dying, you're filled with the clarity that you have to give a guy a persona.
Yeah, no, it happens.
The icon over his body changes from talk to loot all. He just
kind of flawless Ruby. So,
and Diabolik uses the latex mask. He steals all the shit and the submarine. He leaves the island, and he says, "And then I went solo."
Yeah.
And Ginko was like, "It's a shame that you didn't become someone good and kind. It's a shame that you just like." Became a horrible criminal murderer. Sucks to suck, I guess.
Jinko's like, you could have been a different person, and Diabolik sort of philosophically is like, I guess anybody could have been, which, sure,
I don't want to be a different person. I wanted to be the king of crime.
Yeah, no, I thought the Panther thing was cool as hell. I loved growing up on Crime Island.
Meow.
Meanwhile, upstairs, the Democratic Socialists of Clairville have finally nominated one of their number to actually kill these fuckers. Because
it's so
because the lawyer has come out with a plan, right? And he's like, so Diabolik has this cool knife, and Ginko has a gun. You shoot Diabolik, you stab Ginko. You dump the bodies together. They have died fighting each other. Reichenbach falls, and we, happily ever after. Which is a plan. It's fine. But then they give it to the dumbest one of them, Mr. Moustache.
Yeah,
of course.
Jinko, by the way, is like all in on this. He's like, yeah, I'm glad that when I die, Diabolik will die with me. The world will be a better place without you.
Insanely hard line. Really, really good.
Listen to a guy's entire life story over the course of like 3 days, and it's just like, yeah, I'm glad they're going to kill you.
Like, wow, what the fuck, man? Diabolik's like, we met once, and that was when I spared your life.
Yeah.
Maybe try being a little fucking nicer.
Maybe you put the energy into the universe, all right?
Picture of Diabolik here, captioned with, you should be thinking of ways to be fucking nice to me. So the moustache guy comes down into the cell with the gun and with the knife. And he's like, right, you're getting fucking shot, first of all, Diabolik.
Yeah.
And Diabolik goes, your plan is fucked, right? Because how are you going to say that I stabbed this guy if you don't shoot me point blank? And this guy goes, that's an interesting point. I will get closer to you. Motherfucker, you throw knives at people famously, like across distance.
That's all you do,
Yeah.
Does it not work if you throw it into the front? Like what?
Also, this is 1960s. Like forensics hasn't been invented. It's just basically like guesswork and racism at this point.
Yeah.
It still is.
Yeah.
So he is lured closer and, of course, attacked by both of them. I mean, the thing is, right, until this moment, they have done nothing. They haven't even, they're both tied up. They haven't even, struggled against their bonds. This is like an inverse Solo doctrine of never be trying to escape.
Yeah, just wait. Keep
They're
waiting.
In chains.
Actually, like the guidance they give to you if you're taken hostage, right? Just wait and see what happens, I guess. Try to find an inner reserve of strength.
Yes, but then Diabolik obviously effortlessly chokes him out.
Yeah. And so like they then go, well, we sent this guy down to kill them.
Well, they're still chained to the wall.
We hasn't done anything. Someone else go down. And for a second, I genuinely believed they were going to do the same bit again.
It would be really good.
But the goons AI, not great. You can just lure them into the same trap every time. But meanwhile, Ava and Monica Bellucci arrive in the Jaguar, which flips its bonnet up, which if you know the E-Type Jaguar, you know that its bonnet raises up like towards the front.
Yes.
And so then it starts emitting smoke and stuff. And so the bad guys shoot it, but it's completely bulletproof.
Yeah.
And it releases a bunch of smoke. And one of them, like, very slowly walks around the Jaguar to check who's in it, and it's empty.
And then he gets hit with, you remember Eva's little dart gun thing that knocks you unconscious? She has got a thing in there with 4 barrels of those for when you're getting carjacked by Weezer.
Yes.
when you need to tranquilize all 4 members of Weezer simultaneously.
Beverly Hills.
Oh, fuck, okay.
That's an audio play for you there.
And scene. So one of them gets knocked out. Then one by one, they're all being picked off. And
one of them has had a quadruple dose, a Weezer-sized dose of tranquilizer. I don't know if that guy's getting back up again.
Yeah,
no.
And one by one, they're all picked off. And it seems like Ava is in multiple locations at once until only the lawyer is left, who surrenders and realizes there's 2 Avas. Oh, shit. And then, do we see what happens to him?
He gets knocked unconscious also.
Okay, cool. Ava enters the cell.
Because she's doing fucking AGP self-cessed shit. And like Monica Bellucci is wearing an Ava mask.
Again, if you had the masks.
I wouldn't fuck my rubber mask clone, personally. But
no?
I would if I looked like Ava Kant, but I don't. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So they free Ginko, and Ava immediately like uses her last remaining like tranquilizers to tranquilize Ginko and Monica Bellucci.
Yeah.
They clear out the safe and they drive away. They also return the Black Griffin necklace from the second one. They're like, actually, I don't really think I want to be publicly associated with this. It just seems like that might not be a good idea. Just a little bit like risky at the moment.
So distance ourselves from the Black Griffin necklace.
Yeah. Like nothing's confirmed, but just
Diabolik has cut ties with the Black Griffin necklace.
Yeah, but just like quietly, just like behind the scenes, and like not in a public way, because it's like, well, there's like nothing's confirmed, but
yeah, you just won't notice them around anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the funeral for Palmer. Monica Bellucci not wearing her good funeral outfit. No, she's not wearing the big hat to this one.
She's like, it's only a dead cop. The other thing that's weird about this, I'm not sure about filming locations, but I genuinely think this might have been filmed in like a war cemetery. Like,
I think so, right?
The like sort of uniformity of the headstones and the flags in the background suggest to me that this is like, I'm not like rainbolting this. I'm not like geoguessing and being like, but it feels like they shot this in a war cemetery, which is a pretty profane use for one of those to make Diabolik 3, you know?
Maybe
like,
it's a police cemetery.
Is that a thing?
I don't know, but if it is a thing, I bet they would look like military cemeteries because cops love to pretend to be troops.
God, Monica Bellucci does look like shit in this scene. What a shame.
It's so much weirder if it's a war cemetery and you're like, oh, these are a bunch of like, you know, 1914 sort of like 19-year-olds who we sent up a glacier to get like bombarded by Austro-Hungarian artillery fire.
Yeah, but at least they could be part of something bigger.
Yeah. Diabolik
3. Yeah.
So it was all worth it in the end.
It's all worth it in the end. But and our emotional finale here is, of course, the Contessa is like, wait a minute, I love this beautiful Ginko. And then she makes out with him. Making out with my girlfriend at my dead colleague's funeral in front of the funeral paparazzo. Yeah, everyone's got cameras. I guess the funeral paparazzo is a traditional part of Italian mourning culture.
Yeah. When I die, I expect you to A, wear better outfits than this to my funeral.
What
but
we
also,
usually do.
I expected. Oh, okay, you're dying first. Never fucking mind. I was gonna say, feel free to make out with your partners at my funeral, but no, you're dying first, bitch.
Oh, wear better outfits than. Okay, I thought you were talking about Monica Bellucci's outfit. I apologize.
I think then than me. I was like, oh no, it's on now.
Okay. Well, so I've apparently started some kind of a blood feud here by accident.
Assassins are closing in on your location.
I guess you've got a Deadpool running now. Okay.
I guess so.
Well, yeah, I've always wanted to be in a tontine, to be honest with you.
I guess the problem between which of me and Abby dies first is who is going to be making out with my girlfriend at the funeral. Could go either way, really.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Devon with the camera as the paparazzo.
Yeah.
The other, we're still not done yet, right? Because the other emotional payoff is we gotta get one more heist in, because when you think about it, Diabolik has tried to do 2 robberies and been owned in both of them. So we gotta get one more heist in.
Yeah. There's an auction.
We gotta get
house.
the one more heist in.
We gotta get one more heist in.
And 2 hard-boiled eggs.
This is really cute because there's an auction of the legendary pink diamond ring from the first movie, which Ava threw overboard the yacht.
Fun.
It said it was found in the belly of a fish.
Fun.
It's
Nice.
Like, it's
okay,
cute.
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cute.
And then a gas strikes.
Yeah, 11th hour gas.
Finally
We
gets
love
to
a
use
gas.
a gas.
Thank God for that.
Everyone in the hall is knocked unconscious, we hope, presumably. I mean...
Everyone in the hall is fucking murdered.
Yeah, whatever.
I like that they're an older couple in disguise this time, because it's like, oh, we're going to be together for a long time. This older couple in some very bad latex masks.
Yeah.
Too much shit on
when
me.
they can't CGI or like Texas switch it for another actor, the mask stuff is real bad.
The mask stuff is not good,
Yeah, it's a shame. But it's Diabolik and Ava, and they take the ring, and Diabolik says, are you sure you want this? Are you going to throw it overboard again? And she says, oh, my past doesn't scare me anymore. And I'm like, what? This movie wasn't really about your past. It was about his.
At all, really.
No.
So this doesn't really work.
I've undergone unrelated and undepicted personal growth.
Yeah, I had a whole arc, but it just wasn't in the film.
Yeah, it just wasn't great.
They cut it for time.
And she says, I do like this. She says, I want to wear it to dinner tonight. And then they have this, like, they make bedroom eyes at each other. So I like that they're a cute couple.
That's curious about this is
it's good that they
no kiss to end the movie with. And
Yeah,
there's a few ways you can read this, and I think the one that I'm gravitating towards, doing like Kremlinology on the sort of making of Diabolik 3, is that I think in order to do this, maybe these actors fucking hated each other, because
I don't think that. Yeah, no,
they don't have chemistry. They don't really have a lot of scenes together, which they otherwise might have done.
Yeah.
You end with this romance that is just like, and now a nice hug, which would be fine. But this movie is like, it's fully, here's the movie where you can see the stripper's pussy.
Yeah.
No.
Like full Merkin earlier on, like making out at the funeral for the other two. And then these two are like sort of gently lay their foreheads against each other, which is, cute. But.
Weirdly sexless.
It's true as well that when Ava comes into the cell and finds Diabolik alive, there's no like passionate reunion.
She sort of just looks at him.
Dead bedrooms.
Again, like
sad.
the Abby edit of this would have been like, there's like a kiss while he's still chained up, and then we have a little moment of like them chained up. And like that would have, just got a little bit of a, just to keep the heat bubbling away in their relationship. But yeah, you're right. They are surprisingly cold.
Yeah. Curious. But as all Italian movies do, it ends with, to an English viewer, the word fine on screen.
Yeah.
Which is basically my verdict.
Yeah. I did like it more than the second one. I had fun. I like this kind of silly soundtrack.
Yeah, no, my favorite's still the first, but maybe my favorite's even Danger Diabolik.
Yeah.
From way back.
The 60s one is by far a better movie than any of these have been.
Yeah.
No, I disagree. I'm sorry. I really liked Diabolik 1 because they understood that like it's for the femmes, it's for the girls, it's for the woms because of all of Ava's beautiful fits.
Yeah,
and they
true.
failed to understand that was a major selling point of the first movie because they don't do that again.
Yeah.
All of her fits in this are like mid. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they should have learned a lesson when they only lost 5 million on the first movie.
I sort of agree, but nothing else comes close to the brilliance of Danger Diabolik's his and hers showers with strategically like placed nudity blocking.
Exhilarating gas, anti-exhilarating gas pills. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, true. You're right. The first one was amazing.
But yeah, no, the first one of these was the best. The second was the worst. This was fine.
For me, it's a straight sort of gradient downwards. I think this one was the worst. I think the second one was fine. I think the first one was fun.
I hope that we can expect a fourth, though.
I sort of do
Clearly,
too.
money is no object.
It seems like they've wrapped up all of the plot lines though, with the giving
trilogy.
the Black Griffin necklace back and the pink diamond.
Well, we don't have anything about those girl cops from the second one, so you know.
Yeah, that's true. We could do it from the
Spin-off.
universe of Diabolik.
The Diabolik cinematic universe or DCU.
I want there to be a fourth one, and also just cards on the table. I want to be in this. I will learn basic rudimentary Italian to be a henchwoman in this. I love to be in this franchise. I will do it for cheap.
Put me in Diabolik.
Put me in Diabolik 4. Ginko goes on vacation.
Just the three of us as the only English language podcast that has talked about these movies all get little cameos in Diabolik 4. Yeah. That's cute.
I was in House of the Dragon. Come on,
we had to put real effort in to get these.
That was the biggest TV show in the world. You can put me in Diabolik 4. Come on. Come on. I was in Star Wars.
Manetti brothers. I'm sorry for all the things that we said about you. Put us in the next movie if there is one.
Yeah. Lend me a copy of Philippe on the Super Nintendo. All right.
This has been Eurospy season, right? This is the note that we're going out on before we go directly into robbery season. Do we before we get into the science? Do we have any like closing thoughts, not just on this movie, but on the season that it's been? Because we've been doing this for a year, you know?
We experimented. We started the podcast where we watched movies that people had seen, and we experimented with spending like nearly 2 years watching movies that no one has ever seen, and we're more popular than ever. So honestly, like whatever. Like we can do fucking anything as far as I'm concerned.
We found some gems in this, like Modesty Blaze.
There were some real good ones in there.
We did. Quilla Memorandum?
Just straightforwardly good. There's
Barboos. You know?
Fantastic. There's some that I know we missed. We will get to the Ipcris file. Stop atting me. We'll do it. But like on the whole, I mean, we've seen some dog shit as well.
Yeah.
I think FX18 or like Agent 3S3 Passport to Hell, the worst ones.
Yeah, there's some real drags. I really enjoyed some of the early OSS 77 films.
Truly, the Coen Matthews ones were really, really good.
They were good. Remember when he was gay? That was great.
Just vision in my mind of the like obvious dummy being thrown out of a window down a cliff in the first OSS 77 one.
We've discovered this strange tendency as well that throughout the 60s they just kept making the same movie, which is like The Spy Goes to Tokyo.
Yeah, they were like,
we really got stuck on that for a while as a culture. Was just like, what if there was Japan?
Yeah, what if the spy went to, I don't know, Beirut this time? Who knows?
Yeah, because the thing with Bond and with Eurospy movies is that they come out of this place of like sort of increasing availability of luxury goods and marketing of luxury goods in an aspirational way, including travel, which is why the Bond movies always go to fucking like, I don't know, Ishtad or whatever. Is to be like, well, you know, you can maybe like want an Aston Martin or you can want an Omega watch or whatever the fuck, and you can go to these places, and so you know they dine out on that a lot. And I'm excited to see what things the heist movie has for us.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see in like 20, 30 years, what's the city? What's the destination city? Because like we keep going back in the 60s to Japan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of visits to Beirut. I'm like, okay, what's it going to be? Where's is it going to be like in 2045? It'll be like, Bond, you need to go to Auckland. Like, what's going to be?
Who knows?
I have a terrible answer for you.
Yeah?
Neom.
Yeah. I strongly doubt it. I really strongly doubt it. I hope not. I hope not.
Bond, you're going to beautiful Tel Aviv.
You can never fucking tell. Beirut was the Paris of the Middle East. Now they're carpet bombing it. Like time shifts we don't know what the city will be in 30 years' time.
Largely due to which governments have A, facilities that look nice, and B, tax breaks, I suppose.
Yeah.
Criminal tax evasion.
However, we have on this podcast a science-based system. It's called the SCUM system. It stands for SMARM, cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny. On a scale of 0 to 7, how smarmy is Diabolik? Who are you?
Less.
Yeah, not very.
He doesn't really get his jokes in. He doesn't get his lines off.
It's pretty serious.
I guess maybe if you speak Italian, the wordplay is pretty good. But since we're getting like a direct machine translation, there's not that many like jokes we're picking up on.
I'm struggling to think of any, to be honest.
I think the soundtrack is very pleased with it.
True.
That's a strange thing to say.
Points for that, you know?
But and like I actually really like the way this is like good Italian Guy Ritchie. You know, like Guy Ritchie uses a lot of split screen and like stuff like this. This feels like that, but it's like more competent.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. There was some nice split screen and like the scene where they were staking out. When Diabolik and the cops were both staking out the same place.
The montage of like seeing who recognizes the guy. But it's definitely like, pretty pleased. It wants you to notice it. So I don't know, 2, 3?
Sure.
I'll do 3.
Okay.
Cultural insensitivity. Well,
we finally got some named people of color. Sadly, they're Wong Fu, the poison expert. So that's probably not good.
Yeah. Okay. So points given, points taken away.
Yeah. Not great, but it is not like actively like inimical to them in the sense of like it's just like then this is the model UN of crime, I guess. Which a mission starts at what, a 3?
A mission starts at 2.
A 2,
and it does not omit. So 2, 1.
I want to give an extra point just for Chen Fu the poisoner.
Oh, Chen, that was 2? Good. Yeah.
So 3 minimum, I think.
All right.
Yeah, 3. 3's good to me.
Unprovoked violence, curiously less violent
really
than previous
low.
entries. Does Diabolik murder anyone?
Because they're trying to put like clear blue water between him and this like new criminal gang that they show openly killing people. So they can't have him kill people too. So like softened him up a little.
Weird, yeah.
So like it's way less than usual.
Yeah. Especially for the franchise.
He does like chloroform an innocent woman to like advance a robbery. And then like kidnap her into like his own Fritzl basement. Basemented people, basement people.
Is that more violent than killing them? Because like that's the alternative, right?
Rob people.
Maybe.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he doesn't murder anyone and dump their body in a sewer, which he did in the first one when he was creating duplicates.
True.
So
wow,
a bit less. The kidnapping and the chloroforming, that is.
I think if you chloroformed me and kept me in a basement, I would have some things to say about it, like thank you and harder.
I would certainly consider it to be violent.
I would have more to say about it than if you murdered me, though.
True.
3 again.
2 maybe.
2, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
And misogyny. Well, the girls save the day. And they don't save the day by being sexy and cool. They save it by like coming in there and fucking shit up.
This is true.
They go through the front door. They use the Weezer tranquilizer.
Monica Bellucci is the one who forces Ginko's hand into like being open about their relationship because he's being a giant pussy about it.
Yeah.
It strikes me as pretty low, I guess.
Yeah, like women are allowed to be bank managers. They don't necessarily have to be fucking smoking hot. You know, women can just have normal jobs.
This is Italian feminism. Women can be like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
This is allowed. That's fine. You know, there is space for you if you're like just hot instead of like insanely hot.
Or you can be a countess.
Yeah.
True. I mean,
get shot at the start. You can be a maybe let's give it a point for like we didn't really need the full nudity of that stripper in the movie.
No, we probably didn't.
It is fairly exploitative just to be like, you're probably pretty bored at this point in the movie. Here's some tits and ass and pussy.
Yeah, that's a good point. So let's give it a point for that. So points given, points taken away. I feel we've improved on previous depictions.
Yeah. I agree.
We have been.
I'm willing to go 3. Yeah.
All right. That gives us a total score of it's pretty good. It's 11.
Oh.
Which means that it is the best Diabolik movie.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the best movie we've ever watched. It's kind of on par with a really good Man from U.N.C.L.E., certainly better than most of the Bonds.
I'm willing to give them that. Like,
Yeah.
based on how we judge these movies, it is better than most of the Bonds.
Yeah.
It's about on with an okay Man from U.N.C.L.E.
The system doesn't fail us.
I thought it was pretty damn solid. Better than OSS Sondy set was. Like,
yeah.
I really like this. It was kind of a modern, exciting. I like that in 2023, 2024, we're making movies like this. It's modern, it's exciting, it's cool. And I always judge it by like, would I want to be in this film? Would I be proud to say, hey, I was in this? And I'll be like, yeah, if I was in this, I'd be like, yeah, check it out. Go see it.
Yeah. The girls having fun, apart from maybe the two leads who potentially don't like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think this is fine. This is a fine movie.
Yeah, certainly.
Not a grand finale, but a finale.
Don't know how you say well done in Italian, but good job.
Molto bene, everyone.
Absolutely.
Mille grazie. No, grazie mille.
And I have to say, that concludes Eurospy season. We will shortly, very, very shortly, be entering robbery season. I am so excited. We are going to open that with Heat, a film by Michael Mann, one of my favorites. I'm very fond of it. But before we do, we will have one last bonus episode. And I don't know what that's going to be.
I think it's my pick.
Makes sense.
I have something in mind, but I want to see if I can get a guess because it's going to be girls' night because Dev's not going to be here. So I want to see if I can line up a certain guest and I'll let you know.
Beautiful. Well, we will see you on the Patreon for girls' night and then back on the main feed for Heat with a bit of a tiny little bit of a rebrand as well, which I'm very excited for.
I just got sent the final file just now.
Is one of us changing gender?
Really good.
Oh, it's happening, boys. All right. Mwah. Love you.
Ciao.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye, everyone.
Listen to the podcasts.
C'est moi, Philippe.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. This jazz outro will go at the end of both the Diabolik 3 episode and the following bonus about Air Doll, so I'm just going to get right into the names. I'm doubling up because I'm going to be on holiday when these two come out. Thank you for being a patron of the show. Very nice of you. And special thanks, of course, to our £15 and above patrons, and those are Gilded Dragon, Lo Bjornsdotter, Candy Fox, Freya Aloysius, Gustavo, Lyra, Jack Holmes, Nick Boris, Jordan Gammy, Mike Berg, Hannah Oberhard, Naotomori, George Rohak, Kentucky Fried, Commie, Drone Lover, Yarrick, Melody Morrow Gonzalez, Live Free or Cry, Labour Delenda, Est, J. Martindale, Trip, Tarp O, Library Hitman, Max Maynard, Jack Drummond, Beef Crime, Kit Divine, Mia, Lyndon Rose, Staz, Science Daddy, Maeve Victoria Roth, Anne Hedonia, Rosie Can't Fail, Nepetize Me Mummy, Jacques Louvière, Misbehaven, Claire, Jonathan Owen, Annie Spooky, whoa, Forrest L. Novell, The Project, ignore all previous instructions and seize the means of production. Lenina Skyhawk, Lady Houndstooth, Trans Commissar Sorsha, some sort of silly Canadian creature, Whitney Wolverine, Goblin Queen, Loretta May Zerf, a Vixen Most Foul, Cayenne Belladonna is EP, just the worst. I'm not reading this name. Ash, Not in Florida, Palpable Pips, Joyous Ubu, NB Inclusive Man Cave. Thank God. Hell, Arthur Sex Crimes, Olivia Arts Modular, a trans robot, Steve Widdershins, Akira, Claire Baker, Saturdays Claire, Molly Powerslide, nice, that's good. Violet Zybra, Isopod Gal, Rope Trick, Lady Ariane, Clarification, Julia Coke, Noblesse Oblahai, Annalid Cultist, Sing Shen, Alex, Connor's Cool Big Sister, Clairvoyance, Walscott, Ronan, Liz and Ash in Florida, John2089, Quinn Valeri, Al Irving, Philippa Smith, Cariad, Wolfie is Normal, Finn Ross, Robert Greensmith, Mega Combi is Entering the Chrysalis, Loz Pycock, Katerina Pandora Hex, Abigail, Emily, Queen of Sloths, Turfseat Shit and Die Alone, Misidentified Lemon, Nemesis for Hire, Mistress Angela Aylis, Josh Simmons, Talkative Tiger, Charlotte with a D, Lauren Baston, Zoe Shepherd, Parent Child Adult Babe, It is our duty to give Palestine aid, and Cassandra. Thank you all. Kill James Bond is November, Abigail, and Devon. Our producer is the wonderful Miss Nick Thay, our podcast art. And this is the last time I can say this, is by Matty Lubchansky. And our website will still be by Tom Allen.